Hello everyone, this is Ma'am Flor. Today I'll be discussing Lesson 1. What is factoring? Ano nga ba yung factoring? Let us first read our learning objectives. A. Define factoring. Ano nga ba yung factoring? B. Choose an appropriate method for factoring polynomials. Ano bang factoring technique ang pwede nating gamitin sa given na polynomial? And letter C. Factor polynomials with common monomial factor, difference of two squares, sum and difference of two cubes, perfect square trinomials, and general trinomials. These are the different techniques on how to factor polynomial. Let us have a quick review. What are factors? Let us name the different parts of multiplication. For example, you were given 4 times 5 equals 20. Sometimes I'll be using that in replacement nung sa ating multiplication sign. So, let us name yung parts. So, yung 4 dito, this would be our multiplicand, and 5 would be our multiplier, and 20 would be our product. So, meron tayong ibang pangalan bukod sa multiplicand at multiplier na ginagamit. So, we use factor and factor. So, these are the factors ng 20. 4 and 5 are the factors of 20. Okay, for example, number 1, find the factors of 12. Ano ba yung mga factors ng 12? Pwedeng 1 times 12, 2 times 6, pwedeng 3 times 4. So, lahat ito ay factors ng 12. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 are all factors of 12. How about naman ng 11? Ano ba yung factors ng 11? So, 1 times 11. So, the factors of 11 are 1 and 11. Ano nga ba pag sinabi natin prime factors? For example, ano ba ang factor ng 2? 1 times 2. Meron pa bang iba? Wala na. How about 3? 1 times 3. Next, 5, 1 times 5. 7, 1 times 7. So, these are all factors of 2, 3, 5, at 7. Ngayon, these are called prime numbers. Ano nga ba yung prime numbers? When we say prime numbers, these are whole numbers greater than 1 that have only two factors, 1 and the number itself. Okay? So, next, ano naman pag sinabi nating prime factor? Prime factor, a factor of a given number which is also a prime number. Factor siya at the same time prime number. So, 1 is not a prime number. Take note of that. So, when we say prime factor, ano ba yung mga prime factor dito sa given ito? So, these are 2, 3, 5, at 7. Example number 3. Halimbawa naman, hanapin natin yung factors ng 4x squared na kung saan hindi lang number may kasama ng variable with exponent. So, we can factor 4x squared as 4 times x squared. Pwede rin naman 4 times x times x. Pwede rin naman 2 times 2 times x squared. Pwede rin naman 2 times 2 times x times x. So, these are factors ng 4x squared. These are 2, 4, x, and x squared. How about this one? Hanapin naman natin ang factors ng 6x plus 2. So, mapapansin mo dito, hindi lang siya isang term. Dalawa na siya, which is a binomial. So, pag finactor natin ito, this would look like as 2 times quantity times 3x plus 1. So, yung 2 dito ay yung factor. Tapos, ang tawag natin doon sa naka-close parenthesis ay binomial factor. Why is it binomial? Dahil binomial, at the same time, factor siya. So, next. Number 5, what are the factors of x squared minus 4? So, pag finactor natin, this would give us quantity x plus 2 times quantity x minus 2. So, these are both binomial factor. How about number 6? Find the factors of x squared plus 5x plus 6. Pag kinuha natin factors nila ay quantity x plus 2 times quantity x plus 3. So, they are both binomial factor. By the way, pag sinabi natin binomial factors, these are polynomials or binomial factors are polynomial factors that have exactly two terms. So, factor siya at the same time, binomial. Okay? So, ano nga ba yung factors? Pag sinabi natin factors, when you factor a polynomial, you are trying to find the quantities that you multiply together in order to create the polynomial or the product. Ibig sabihin, pag sinabi natin factors, ito yung mga number na minultiply natin. Ano ba yung mga number na minultiply natin para makuha natin yung polynomial o yung product? So, take note, pag sinabi natin prime number, it has only two factors, number itself at 1. Distributive property. Paano natin i-apply dito sa 3 times quantity x plus y? All you have to do is multiply 3 times x, that would give us 3x. 3 times y, that would give us 3y. So our answer would be 3x plus 3y. Therefore, these are the factors na pag pinag-multiply natin, that would give us our answer 3x plus 3y. This would be our product. So the question is, what is factoring? When we say factoring, it is the process of finding the factors of an expression is called factoring, which is the reverse process of multiplication. In other words, kung dati, minumultiply natin to get the product, this time, we will get kung ano ba yung mga factors o ano ba yung mga terms na minultiply natin para makuha natin yung product. For example, you were given the following polynomial. Ano ba yung mga factored form nito? So, isa-isahin natin. These are all the factored form of the given polynomial. Ngayon, napakadami, no? Ano kayang way para ma-factor ko to sa madaling paraan? Out what factoring strategy to use. Ano bang mga factoring technique or methods ang gagamitin natin upang mapadali yung pagpa-factor natin ng mga given na polynomial? Step 1. Look for the greatest common factor. If our polynomial has greatest common factor, we want to factor it out because it makes factoring a lot easier. Mas mapapadali ang ating factoring kung tayo ay magpa-factor muna ng greatest common factor. If our polynomial does not have GCF, then we can skip step 1. Ngayon, step 2. How many terms does the remaining polynomial have? Ngayon, tingnan mo ilang terms yung polynomial or ilan terms yung remaining polynomial. Meron ba siyang 2 terms? Gaya nito? 3 terms? Gaya nito? O kaya naman ay 4 terms? Gaya nito. So, bilangin mo kung ilang terms yung natitira. Step 3. Choose a pattern or formula that fits the given condition. Dahil alam mo na kung ilan yung mga terms na given sa polynomial, that's the time titingnan mo kung saan nagsasatisfy yung condition na ito. For example, kung 2 terms, titingnan mo kung alin dito sa dalawang pattern na to ang gagamitin mo. Pwedeng difference of 2 squares, pwedeng sum of 2 cubes, o kaya naman ay difference of 2 cubes. Paano naman pag 3 terms? Meron kang tatlong pagpipilian. So, tatlong formula or pattern na pwedeng gagamitin. Kailangan alam mo yung mga condition ng bawat isa. Kung perfect square trinomial, general trinomial, wherein A is equal to 1, general trinomial, wherein A is greater than 1. Meron din tayong 4 terms. Pag 4 terms, isa lang ang gagamitin natin na pattern or formula. This is grouping. And then, proceed na tayo sa step number 4. Dahil alam mo na kung anong mga pattern magpo-fall yung given na polynomial, that's the time na i-factor out mo na. Okay, isa-summary ko lang yung mga different method or different technique to factor polynomial. Kapag any polynomial, mapamonomial man yan, binomial, trinomial, or more than 3 terms, pwede mong gamitin yung common monomial factor. Next, kapag binomial naman, dalawa ang choices mong formula. Difference of 2 squares, sum of 2 cubes, or difference of 2 cubes. Pag trinomial, PST, perfect square trinomial, general trinomial, A equal to 1, general trinomial, A greater than 1. And last is 4 terms, grouping. So, ito yung mga different technique natin para malaman kung anong mga factoring technique yung gagamitin natin sa mga given na mga problems. Sa example ko kanina, you were given yung polynomial at the same time pati yung factored form. Ngayon, ito yung mga different methods or technique na ginamit ng mga given natin, na given polynomial, para makuha natin yung factored form. I have here yung diagram on factoring polynomial in two terms. Lagi nyo tatandaan, you have to look first for the greatest common factor. Once na may greatest common factor, factor mo muna. Kung wala naman, proceed ka na. Sa next step, bilangin mo ilang terms. Dito sa example ko, 2 terms yung given. So kung 2 terms, meron kang 2 options na pagpipilian. Alin kayang formula ang gagamitin ko? Ito bang una na difference of 2 squares or sum of 2 cubes or difference of 2 cubes? Kailangan lang kasi na mag-fall sa bawat condition yung given mong problem or polynomial. Once na nag-satisfy siya sa given condition, that's the time magde-decide ka na ang gagamitin mo bang formula ay difference of 2 squares, o kaya naman ay sum of 2 cubes, o kaya naman ay difference of 2 cubes. Ngayon, tuturuan kita sa susunod pang lesson kung paano mo malaman or makikita agad na yung given na polynomial ay kung ano ang gagamitin mong factoring technique or method. So, tuturuan din kita paano mo malaman kung ano yung mga condition na kailangan ng bawat isang formula. For example, if you were given x squared minus 4, first thing you have to do is look for the greatest common factor. Kung may GCF ba siya. Dito sa example natin, wala siyang greatest common factor. So, proceed na tayo sa next step natin. Ilan ba yung terms dun sa given? We have 2. That is correct. Ngayon, pag 2 terms, meron tayong 2 option. Pwede ba? Pwedeng ang gamitin natin ay difference of 2 squares, pwedeng sum of 2 cubes or difference of 2 cubes. Kailangan lang mag-fall sa bawat condition na formulang gagamitin mo. Okay? Start tayo dito sa a squared minus b squared. Ang condition is, number 1, 2 terms? Yes, 2 terms. Number 2, numerical coefficient are perfect square. So, dagdag ko lang dito, numerical coefficient or yung constant ay perfect square. So, perfect square ba yung 4 natin dito? Ang 4 ay perfect square because when you multiply 2 times 2, you will get 4. So, 4 is a perfect square. Next, number 3, variable with an exponent divisible by 2. So, yung exponent ba natin divisible by 2? Yes, pwedeng i-divide siya sa 2. Next, number 4, may minus sign separated by a minus sign. That is correct. So, ibig sabihin, we can use the difference of 2 squares formula. Ito yung pattern na gagamitin natin para ma-factor out natin yung example na given. So, therefore, yung isa, dahil nag-fall siya sa condition, ito ang gagamitin natin. Yung isa, hindi na to ang gagamitin nating formula or pattern. So, pag finactor out natin, x squared minus 4, this can be factored as quantity x plus 2 times quantity x minus 2. So, yun yung factored form itong given natin. Ang factoring used in real life, saan ko ba nagagamit ang factoring sa buhay ko? Diba pag sinabi natin factoring, yung given ng mga polynomials na to, ifa-factor ko. So, dito, tinuturuan tayo kung paano mag-recognize ng different pattern. Why? Kasi once na na-recognize mo kung ano yung mga patterns na given at alam mo kung ilan yung terms na given, madidevelop mo kung ano bang strategies, anong method or anong technique ang gagamitin mo para ma-factor out mo kagad yung given na problem. So, in that way, mapapadali mo from difficult to easy. Akala mong mahirap, magiging madali dahil alam mo na yung pattern, alam mo na yung method or formula na gagamitin mo. That way, magiging easy lang sa'yo ang pagfa-factor. So, how factoring used in real life? Una, recognize mo yung weakness. Halimbawa, nahihirapan ka sa math. Dahil nahihirapan ka sa math, magde-develop ka ng study routine. So, gagawa ka ng schedule. schedule o routine mo araw-araw na kung saan ilalaan mo sa math yung time na i-allot mo sa math para matuto or mapag-aralan ng mga lesson. At the same time, maglalaan ka rin ng time para mag-search sa Google at sa YouTube, itatype mo lang yung title ng lesson, matututunan mo na on your own yung iyong mga bagay or yung mga lesson or topics na hindi mo naiintindihan sa math. Dahil doon, madidevelop na yung pagiging self-reliant mo. Natututo ka, hindi mo napapansin. Natututo ka na pala on your own na pag-aaralan mo yung isang bagay na kaya mo nang pampalang gawin. So, halimbawa, sa trabaho, kapag ikaw ay bago sa trabaho, sa isang kumpanya, di ba, hindi mo alam kung ano yung mga proseso or mga gagawin sa isang trabaho sa umpisa pa lang. Pero kinalaunan, dahil may routine ka na, may pattern ka na, alam mo na yung mga ginagawa mo, nakakabisado mo na. So, sa madaling paraan, yung dati, akala mo mahirap na lang, dahil later on, binibigyan mo siya ng time at effort, nagiging madali na lang para sa'yo. Gaya ng math, kung bibigyan mo siya ng time at effort na paglalaanan, matututo at matututo ka kinalaunan.